Hello, my name is Eric. I'm an addict and I'm from Maine. I am uploading this video because I saw a recovery video from a recovery YouTuber who told a story about, two guys accidentally bringing booze and cannabis into a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And I left a comment, but it reminded me of this story of mine, which was quite funny and also quite horrifying. Um, Towards the end of 2017, I was in IOP, which is Intensive Outpatient Program. It's very strict. You got to be in class on time every day. You got to submit to your analysis tests. You can only take the buprenorphine and your prescribed medications. A very, very strict program. Even comparing it to other IOPs in my area, the program coordinator she was a real hard ass, very strict. Frankly, I don't think she understood addiction or addicts. She was always adversarial to us, always kind of treating us like little kids, always kind of doubting us, that kind of stuff. I didn't really like her, but I mean, it was her program, so whatever. So I was in IOP one day, and we had just come back from our one of our little smoke breaks, and the program coordinator, the hard ass, was sitting there looking unhappy. Usually when she was in the room, she was there specifically to give us a stern talking to, so I was not looking forward to what was about to happen, but I figured I would just sit down. She would yell at us like a drill sergeant for a bit, then she would leave and we'd be done. Hooray. Well, we had a relatively new member of the program. She came in and sat next to me. We're all we've all basically filed in at this point. And right in front of the program facilitator, this girl pulls out a bag of marijuana and just passes it across the table to some guy. Just like it's not even a thing. And the program coordinator, she looks at it and she says, "Excuse me, what's that?" And the girl says, "I'll never get this." She was like, "Oh, it's just marijuana." Just almost like, you don't have to worry about it. It's just drugs, right? And there was a pause. It was extremely awkward. Like, the woman was there to yell at us about, some members being caught smoking in the parking lot, smoking cannabis in the parking lot. And now we have a girl just flinging weed across the table right in front of her, which I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. There was a pause. And the program facilitator says, no, we're not going to do that. She takes her weed back and puts it away. And thus begins, our latest tongue lashing, which was probably ended up being a lot worse than it otherwise would have been because, some girl just whipped out weed right in front of the facilitator. So that was the first part. The second part, the facilitator leaves, so we can all be ourselves again. And, there was an older gentleman in the class who kind of had no filter, gave no fucks kind of guy. He looks at her and says, "Well, that was really stupid, wasn't it?" And she lashed back, because she was embarrassed, I guess, and they were this close to getting into like an honest-to-God fist fight right there in the conference room of a hospital. They both got kicked out of the room for the remainder of the day. But yeah, it was very surreal sitting in front of the program, coordinator, a known hard ass, the lady who always yelled at us, and then just to see a girl just pull out a bag of weed like it was a brownie or like it was no big deal, and then trying to pass it to someone, that shocked me. It's funny now, looking back. It was not funny then. It was actually quite horrifying. Beyond that's probably my most like awkward and intense drug in a meeting story, just because of the setting and who it happened in front of, and the results of that. But I also, when I went to the Suboxone clinic, there was a guy there who he was really having a hard time getting the whole abstinence thing into his mind. He did not. You can tell sometimes when someone's in a meeting, or particularly in a Suboxone clinic, and they're just there for the script. They're just there to, zone out during the counseling sessions, and then, oh, give me my script, please. You can kind of tell. And this guy was one of those, and he there was multiple days I was sitting next to him, and he would, do the, nod out. And I'm a junkie. I could tell he was on something, but I didn't say anything until one day we were sitting there, and he literally just fell face forward out of his chair right onto the floor. They ended up taking him to the hospital and doing a blood test, and he had no Suboxone in his system, but just about everything else. So, he wasn't really there for much longer. But, the little bag of cannabis was actually more shocking than that, just because it was right out in the open in front of an angry lady who was there specifically to yell at the group about cannabis. So that is my awkward, funny drugs in a meeting story, one of them. I'm sure I've got plenty more if I think and remember, but I still remember that to this day. It was a very shocking moment. But anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble about my story. Hopefully I can think of more and think of something, something entertaining. I've been around the block a couple times. So anyway, I hope everyone has a clean and serene afternoon, and I'll see you guys later.